video, we'll look into a scenario in which the country of Ethiopia forms an empire. Though this is unrealistic, because of the UN being evil, we will allow it. And the first thing they do is invade Eritrea. Because why wouldn't you invade Eritrea? They once had it. Honestly, historical claim. Imagine if Britain started doing that, just going like, yeah, I have the right to invade Egypt, South Sudan, Australia, Canada, the eastern half of America, Iraq, Syria, South Africa, all because I had them before. Imagine the international outcry. I can annex northern France because I had it before. Could you imagine that? Imagine being Britain. Just being British. And while they cross the border in two fronts, and then they launch an invasion over here. And they quickly capture the panhandle of Eritrea, because, well, let's be honest, that would happen. And Ethiopia wins a war and unifies its people. Because there are people like expansion. This is like me playing with ChatGPT. Let's form an empire for fun. Luckily, this is me. Because I'm not realistic. Let's invade Somalia. And Ethiopia gets put under severe sanctions. Yes, we'll sanction them. And they'll be like Russia and be like, what sanctions? And well, they cross the border here into where Somaliland is. And then they invade here in the center to get across as they cross and cut off areas. They start more invasions then. With them also moving to the coast in another spearhead. With this, they lead to the surrender of a bunch of areas and collapse. With them capturing more of the coast, and this leads to the surrender of the country. With the country accepting to join, very much likely. They definitely did invade Ethiopia in what year? Didn't they lose when they did that, though? They were like, yeah. I'm sure the only reason they have wars here is because they have an excuse. My excuse is, it's Britain's fault. Also, why are some countries great? Well, the great countries are also Britain's fault, yeah. They either made you great or left you in chaos. But they're still great, I assume. Unless you're talking to Argentina about the Falklands, that's definitely Argentinian. Definitely not me trying to cause chaos. Crimea is definitely Bulgarian, for sure. We should give Bulgaria Crimea. I think that would solve a lot. You know what we should do with the Donbass region? Yeah, we should give it to Russia. And you know what we'll do with Siberia? We'll give it to Ukraine. Just to mess with the borders. And they invade Kenya. Definitely likely to happen. 100% likely. If this video gets 2,000 views, I'll be excited. And if it gets 100 views, I'll also be excited. But if it gets 5 likes, that's just great, I guess. No, I want 500 comments. Somebody just spam comment me. Just spam comment me. Regardless of what it is. Just spam comment me. Like, if you're sending a comment, send it in 5 different, with like reply after reply after reply. This reply, video reply, is reply great. Yeah, see? It's easy. As Kenya launches a counter-offensive, pushing back the 2 spearheads, one here and the other here. But since we buffed Ethiopia, yeah, there's nothing Kenya can actually do. And they somehow get back to that position, and then they turn. Yes, the forces go to the border of Tanzania. And Ethiopia goes down the coast. And quickly they collapse them on this front. And Kenya has no chance of winning, but they keep fighting. It's just not great. And well, let's have Ethiopia invade. Yes, Ethiopia will annex more land. Because Ethiopia is power hungry. Aren't Everai power hungry? I'm sure Everai wants to run an empire. Maybe you can invade Burkina Faso. You know what? Instead of giving them Canada, I got a better idea. An even better idea for America. The best idea on the planet. We'll give them the entire Middle East. Because they like oil, I assume. Or they don't. Maybe they don't anymore. Or maybe they do. Who knows? But for the meantime, let's invade Sudan. And they cross the border over here and up along the coast and here to launch a spearhead to Khartoum. As the front soon has full-on crosses, the spearhead slows down, so they come in south of it to cut supplies, with them moving forwards through this front. And with rebels in Sudan and rebellions, they have an easy job invading. As they take a spearhead to Khartoum and they manage to take it. With moving south. And they decide South Sudan is evil. I guess, for some reason. They invade South Sudan. Well, who wouldn't want to invade South Sudan, I guess. And then they start bringing more forces into Sudan. As they're failing to get a surrender, they move back into South Sudan. As they start capturing much of it, South Sudan is forced into surrender. With them still invading Sudan. With them offering a peace treaty, and it gets accepted. So let's see the peace treaties. Sudan was annexed along with border territories with Sudan and most of the coast, leaving a bit of coast. And now to invade Tanzania, which is probably one of the better countries in this region, probably. It's like, and they invade from the north. They quickly overwhelm the forces. And they end up taking over the coast. And while Tanzania is doing pretty well, with Ethiopia offering peace, but as you know, Tanzania isn't going to be that easy to get peace. With them offering a harsher one, and Tanzania isn't happy. But they eventually realize there's no point in continuing, so they surrender. And well, before we do the peace treaty, a war with Uganda and Congo breaks out. And they take advantage of occupations here to move in from the south and the east and the north. With Uganda caught off guard and they collapse. And while into the Congo, quickly they capture a big swath of land as they fund rebels for some reason, help them gain the upper hand. And by doing this, they manage to move their forces in further. As they manage to cross here, across this lake. And well, they take this much over. And then they end up all the way here. And well, Congo decides to sign a peace treaty. So let's see the peace treaty. They annex all of Uganda, and then they annex most of Tanzania, a big chunk out of the northern part of the Congo, maybe about an eighth of it, and then they annex Rwanda and Burundi because they can. And well, that's all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Wild Mapper out, but not only subscribe. Bye, guys.